Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Why Do I Do It podcast, the podcast where we talk to professional performers about their worst, weirdest, and most embarrassing gigs. Really excited about the guest that we've got on for this week. This week we've got Paul Smith, a fantastic Liverpool-based comedian. If you've seen any Facebook video whatsoever of a comedian performing, odds are it's Paul Smith. The amount of viral material he's got out there is ridiculous. He's also the regular MC at Hot Water Comedy Club in Liverpool. And in this episode, we discuss an awful lot. We talk about the mindset behind some of his audience's ideas that comedy and cocaine mix. We discuss a gig that can only be described as the Blackpool brawl. And we talk about his gig that he performed at the Princess Theatre in Torquay. That's a really interesting one because I was there and it's certainly the weirdest gig I've ever seen before. So we get to hear that story from an audience member's point of view as well as the performers. So that's a really good point. Don't forget to like the podcast, share the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, make a banner, make t-shirt, whatever you got to do to let people know. We love doing these and we want them to carry on. If you've got any suggestions, anyone that you want to come on the podcast, a favourite comedian or performer, let us know. We'll do our best to get them on. Let us know in the comments on YouTube or email us at info@torquaycomedyclub.co.uk. Oh, and also, if you're a regular at the Torquay Comedy Club, there you'll be glad to know that there's a point in this interview where I put Paul on the spot a little bit and got him to agree to come to the Torquay Comedy Club. He might have been polite, but we're going to try and hold him to it. So there's something there to look forward to for the regulars of our lovely club. Anyway, sit back and enjoy as we hear from Paul Smith. Hello, Paul.
Hello, Ben.
Hello. Thank you for doing this. Nice to see you.
No, it is nice to see you too, mate.
Thank you.
You're looking well.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I like the beard. The beard's a new addition.
The beard, I just couldn't be arsed shaving for a bit, and then I've become attached. It's become attached to me. But yeah, it's very Marmite. I'm getting a lot of I put a poll on my Instagram yesterday whether I should shave it off.
What was the result?
And, well, I think it was like 56% said yeah, 44% said no. But
what,
you know,
no to shaving it off?
No to shaving it off. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So. But you know when you when you don't know what to do and you toss a coin, and then when the coin doesn't come the way you want it, you realise what you wanted to do in the first place. So even though the poll results said to shave it off, I realised when it said that I didn't want to shave it off.
Oh,
so I'm going to keep it in spite of Instagram and the public opinion.
That's it. Fuck them. What do they know? It's your beard.
Exactly. I mean, I'll say that in as much as still please buy tickets, but
yeah, and listen to this, yeah. But
listen to this.
Fuck your opinion on beards.
Please enjoy my content, but fuck yeah, you don't know nothing about beards.
So, just as the first little bit for people that might not know you, which to be honest, in this day and age, seems very few people. For someone that might not know who you are, can you just give a brief history of your comedy career to date?
Started in, when was it? 2006. Started doing stand-up comedy and then, just gigged about for a little bit. Then, did a little TV thing in 2007, which didn't go very well. Started doing places like Jongleurs and stuff like that. Was fine. And then, started doing Hot Water in 2010. It kind of fell out of comedy a little bit at that point, and started emceeing for Hot Water in 2010, which was just an open mic night at that point. Okay. And just kind of did that because I hated the. What got me at the start of it was like the kind of traveling around doing open spots and stuff like that. It can really get to you, and my mentality in comedy competitions and stuff like that as well. I knew I was a good comic, but whenever it was like a competitive element to it, which an open spot always has on a pro bill. Because you feel like you've got to prove yourself. I'd always fuck it up. I'd do stupid shit. I could have a 10 at like Camden Jongleurs, which is a pretty nice gig for the Jongleurs. And I'd be like, and it was just such a smashable gig. And I'd be there, just go, do your set, your set work, do your set. And I'd get up and start ad-libbing, which I'm all right now at ad-libbing, but I wasn't at the time. I'd just fuck it up every time, so it pissed me off. I'm sick of getting mega buses everywhere. Yeah. The real life of a starting out comic is not the best. So I fell off with it a little bit, and then once I started doing hot water, I just realised I was happy. I always wanted to be, like, when I first started out, I don't know if you know, there's a guy in the Northwest called Toby Haydock.
Right, I've heard the name on the circuit.
Yeah, he runs a gig called Excess Malarkey in Manchester.
Right.
It's been running for years and years and years. Must be 25 years, I think. On a Tuesday night, like studenty gig, but I'd like everyone's done it. Like big, massive names have done it. And this guy Toby, like he does. Obviously, he's a pro comic, so he goes and his weekends everywhere and stuff like that. But he just hosts this gig every week as well, and they just love him there. And he had such freedom on the stage there. Like I saw him MC weekends at the Comedy Store and stuff like that, and he was always brilliant. But when he was in excess, he was just, there was something different about how relaxed he was, and he'd just get up and talk shit about what had happened to him that day.
Yeah.
And I just used to watch it and go, that's like the happiest you ever see anyone on stage. And when I started doing hot water, I kind of got that feeling myself. So I was like, I just want to do this. I just want to do this. And then I got really lucky with it, because that escalated into, it went from Sunday to a Sunday and Friday, then Sunday, Friday, Saturday, then they added a Wednesday in, and then they got their own club. It went every day, and I was gigging every night then, just emceeing that place. And then they started recording it, and that's what went mad. And then I started being able to tour and stuff. So yeah, it's been quite a lucky adventure, but
definitely.
I'm blessed. Yeah.
So you started in 2006, and you say obviously from the recording at Hot Water and stuff, it kind of went mental. When was your first like major tour you did?
First major tour was two years ago, so 2018.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I did that one. I did the Higher Mate. I did Higher Mate.
Oh yeah.
And then
because your last one was something else, wasn't it? Last year.
That was the last one was called Following. Just simply because you've got to pick the name for these tours before you know what the show's about. Because like as soon as you finish one tour, you've got to start like trying to get book the shows in for the next tour. So they obviously want listings and a little blurb about the show and stuff like that. Yeah. I haven't got a fucking clue what the show's about. So like I pick ambiguous names. This next one, well, the one that I'm supposed to be doing now, which is all being postponed until next year, is called Changed, which has become very apt. To be honest.
Yeah, that's very fitting. And to be fair, that's such a liberating attitude to have, in the sense that if you go back to where you were before, you'd still be really happy. That must be that must be so incredible to just
MC in hot water comedy is the best job in comedy. I don't care what anyone says. Like, I mean, I've done everything else. I've played arenas and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, brilliant to do, but like nothing's quite the same as MCing that comedy club on a Friday, Saturday night, or any night. On a Wednesday night, it's probably the best, to be fair.
Is it?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Why is a Wednesday better than, like, say, a weekend night?
Well, Wednesdays just became great because Wednesdays are free, which sounds weird. The guys who run hot water are both geniuses, right? In completely different respects, but the guys, they're both brothers, and they both, like, you wouldn't know that they were brothers because they're both very different from each other, but like they both work very well together. So Binti is like really technical and very hands-on, and he built the clubs himself, so he loves sound, and he does like the whole aspect of the technical side of making a comedy club perfect.
Yeah.
And his focus on that is unreal. So he'll sit there and he'll just tweak until so things are perfect. And then you've got Paul on the other side, who's just obsessed with marketing and sales and just business. And he always comes up with these amazing ideas, like filming the gigs and clipping them up and memeing them up and putting them online and things like that. So you've got that kind of those two elements there. And it just makes it just the best place in the world to do anything. Just, I don't know if you've been there or anything, but like, it's just, I've been to all the big clubs, and like, they're all great, but I just don't think anyone's got what Hot Water's got.
Yeah. I mean, I've not been to Hot Water myself. It's one of those I really want to go, but, and I'm sure it's no comparison, I've seen almost every video that's come out of Hot Water, and it does look absolutely incredible. And there's a lot of videos that have come out of that place.
There's a lot of videos, yeah.
So I was going to ask what your career highlight was, but it sounds like just your general sort of like weekday gigging at Hot Water is that. Or...
I mean, career highlight still got to be standing in an arena, so like a full arena. The best thing that's ever happened to me was standing in it, because like you've been on stage, like you know what the lights do to you, and you can just see darkness most of the time.
Yeah.
And the bigger the gig gets, the less you can kind of see. In an arena, it's just this void, and you can feel everyone there, but you can't see anyone. And at the end of the show, I made them all turn the phone lights on, and just record it for me. And it was just like they blinked on like 2 or 3, and then 5, and then they just all started blinking on. It just looked like space.
That must have been mad.
Amazing. And feeling that cheer, feeling that much positive energy from people it's overwhelming. But yeah, it was fun. So I mean, that was a career highlight to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what's the largest like arena then that you did? Like what was the largest audience?
So we did the largest audience was like 9,000 in the Echo Arena.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean it's mad. Some places because some places where it takes off. Like there's a little place in the northeast called Whitehaven, and I don't know why it's so popular there. But like everywhere in the northeast, it seems to go really well. But like Whitehaven's got a little theatre, and I think it's old. Like I say little now, but I mean it's 500 seater theatre. But it's got this theatre there, Billingham and Whitehaven, Billingham it is. And it's sold like we've had to put 2 shows in a night on because it sold so quick, and then it sold another 2, and then another 2. So we'd end up selling like 5,000 tickets in this town. I don't even think there's 5,000 people in this town. Honestly, like if you go there, there's nobody. It's like it baffles me. So like, and then we've done like same amount in Newcastle, same amount in Sunderland. It's crazy.
Yeah, get on.
Yeah,
I've just got an image. You said that you got 9,000 people at that arena with their phone light just recording a little video. So have you now got 9,000 video clips of yourself from a slightly different angle?
You know what? I haven't been tagged in that many, to be honest. And like, I was expecting more tags. Maybe people put it on, but I've seen a few of them. Yeah, I've seen a few of them. People like people sent them to me and were tagging me on Twitter and Instagram and stuff afterwards. Yeah.
Playing. I mean, that's all incredibly positive, and I really like that. But that is not what this podcast is about, I'm afraid. This podcast is for, really, it's sort of laughing at other people's misfortune. It's the you've been framed mentality of things. The Spanish have a phrase for it. It's called the punch tastes better when from someone else's bowl. There we go. I've just completely made that up as well because I had a load of different languages that had words for it, and I ran out. So now I'm just making them up. So that's the Spanish one. So going off that, what's the worst, weirdest, rowdiest? Is there any gigs that stick in your mind as just the ones that make you shudder?
Worst gigs? Torquay. I'm not even lying.
To be fair, I was there as well. I was there very close to the front, and I somehow felt everything that was going on in that theatre.
And I think, to be honest, I think I'm biased there because I'd not long been with Laurie, and a lot of her family came to watch that show. Right. And like every other show would be like the last 3 shows before that, perfect. And I was like, all right, this is going to be a good one. It's a lovely place, isn't it? Right on the harbour in Torquay. It looks beautiful. And I'm like, this is going to be a good one. I feel it. It's going to be a good one. And then I went out and just cunts everywhere. Do you know what it is, though? I think a lot of those places, it's a lack of security. And I don't know what it is about Torquay. I had the same thing in Blackpool. Just went fucking berserk. I mean, at least there was no real fights in Torquay, to be fair. And like, I think most of the people enjoyed the show still. But
you say there wasn't a fight. A girl did get slapped. I saw that.
But I didn't know that.
Yeah. Some guy was sat with a girl, and obviously his side chick, whatever you want to call it, obviously saw him, came storming over and give the other one a slap. But that was fairly early on, and I remember saying to my girlfriend, and then I remember looking around and just going, "Oh, this is going to be weird." You could just tell.
Yeah, well, I remember having to abandon a few bits of the show because I was like, they're not going to listen to this.
Yeah, it was a shame. I mean, I remember Callum Oakley came out and did his like bit for you beforehand, his like warm up bit, and I remember a lot of people just getting up straight away and heading to the bar. And I was just thinking, it's such a shame. Like it is
a shame. It happened to him a couple of times. He deals with it well now. When it first started, that like worst time it happened was in Blackpool, and I'm not gonna lie, like he's one of my best mates in the world. We've known each other years and years, and when that happens, I think it's hilarious, right? because I can see how much he fumes about it. Like, because he walked out in Blackpool and literally everyone got up and just went to the bar.
Oh,
Like,
no way.
I swear, I've never seen anything like it in my life. And he was just like, "Oh, fucking sound then." And I'm crying. I was filming him with my phone at the side of the stage. I'm fucking crying my eyes out laughing, and he was absolutely fuming about it. But the second year come round, and he kind of, most places were like lovely. So like, I don't know what it is. Certain places you're just catching as an atmosphere, but then most places it's lovely. And then if you do sit and listen to Callum, like, he'll surprise you how good he is. Like,
I think Callum's great.
Oh, he's amazing, yeah. And his set last year was, like, his set the first year was fantastic, and then I think it went a bit better last year. And he's going to be back doing more for me this year. I've got a couple more people. There's a lot more dates. Well, next year now. I don't even know when it'll go again, but I've got Danny McLaughlin as well this year, and Phil Chapman as well. So
amazing.
That's some good tour support.
So hang on, are you having all of those at your gigs, or is it just they'll all do some each?
They'll all do some each.
Oh, okay.
Callum's getting busy now, so yeah, he couldn't do them. Like, he couldn't commit to like 80 dates.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be better for like just to split it up a little bit so he can go off and do his own gigs, because he was getting more bookings and stuff like that. And I just like pick people that I like traveling with. So I love Danny because he's dead funny. I love Phil because we started in comedy together. So yeah, and they're all, I used a couple of them at the end of the last tour. I used Danny for one in Leeds, and I used Phil for like two. He come over to Dublin with me, and they both smashed it. So yeah. So yeah, if that's my advice, if you come into a show, just sit and give the tour support a chance, because you might end up liking them better than me.
Right, okay, we're just going to pause here so I can tell you a little bit about our sponsors. Now, I am never going to promote anything that I don't truly believe in, and I really believe in this company. The sponsors of this episode is Bricksome Gin. They're a family-run company based in, you guessed it, Bricksome. They had an absolute laugh one day. They tested 11 different recipes of gin before settling on blend number 9, which is in their flagship bottle, Red Sails. Now, the red sails on the gin and on the logo here, it's inspired by the red ochre-dyed sails of Bricksome's historic fishing boats. So there's a lovely bit of coastal history there. With these guys, exclusivity really is key. You know, they only make extremely small batches, about 50 bottles per batch. So you've got to get in there fast, because this is an exquisite gin. From their seaside unit in Bricksome, they do absolutely everything. You know, they prepare the ingredients, they test it, they bottle it, and they label it, and it's all done by hand. You don't get that very much anymore. They don't just do gin, they do hand sanitizers, they've got gift packs, they've got t-shirts. You know, they do absolutely everything. There really is something for everyone. And even better, because you're a listener of this podcast, they're giving you 10% off their gin. All you've got to do is visit bricksomegin.net and enter discount code YPOD. That's WHYPOD, YPOD, at the checkout, and get 10% off. Now, back to the episode. So are you coming back to Torquay then on your next tour?
No.
Are you actually not?
No.
Oh man.
I'm doing Exeter.
Okay. What are you do? Is it the Northcott?
I think so. Yeah. The Northcott Theatre.
That's a nice venue.
Yeah. I don't want to say. I mean, I love Torquay. It's a beautiful place, but sometimes it's got a sense it wasn't. I think the thing with those theatres, as I said, it's a security issue. They don't have the staff, the security in them, so like they're not really expecting the type of audience I bring in.
Right.
And I'm not saying like my fans are all animals, because 99% of them are lovely, good comedy fans, but I do tend to attract. Same with Hot Water since the videos went on. I think what's happened is we reach a lot of people who don't normally see stand-up comedy, whereas a lot of the usual avenues you would get comedy fans from are like Mock the Week and places like that.
Yeah.
We reach people they don't really reach. So we're bringing a lot of people into comedy who don't necessarily understand the rules of it. And plus, with the way my style is, when you see my videos, people assume, because I take the piss a little bit, that it's just like taking the piss, and they can come in and it's just going to be taking the piss. And people get a little bit upset when they pay for a ticket and they're like 800 seats back, and I'm not like going out and fucking calling him John a fat knobhead. Do you know what I mean?
I'm expecting you to go round one by one.
Yeah, because I don't know John's there, and two, I wouldn't say that anyway.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a fucking absolute animal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what people assume it is in their head, and what it actually is. Some people get a little bit upset about that. So yeah, well, you need the security presence to kind of go calm down.
Yeah, I mean, this podcast is obviously in association with my club, the Torquay Comedy Club, and they would absolutely kill me if I didn't take this opportunity to offer you a date at our lovely club to our regular mailing list. So if you fancy that, and there'll be ample security, I'll give you that.
Ample security. Okay, I want more security than audience.
That's it.
That's me rider. I want 300 security. Yeah, we can sort that out, mate. Because I'm going to be down there for a bit anyway. So yeah, no, I promise you, if I do that club, it'll be rowdy.
We'll nip it in the bud. Don't worry.
Do you MC it, do you?
No, I don't. The worst time we ever had, we had to once kick out 22 people in one night, and it's only like 180 seater room as well that we've got.
Where is it in Torquay?
We're out at the Riviera Hotel, so we have a room in the Riviera Hotel that we use. Okay. And then when we do our big shows, like with Sean Locke and Jason Manford, that's over at the Riviera Centre because that's like 1,500 seats.
Nice.
So that's nice. So yeah, but yeah, we got a lovely audience. We have. So
cool.
There we go.
That's what I liked it.
That's it.
Sweet. I'll be running through some new stuff, so I might jump down there if I've got a weekend free and just when we're back open.
That'd be great, man.
Yeah, we can sort that out. Do some new material down in Torquay, especially as I haven't got a tour show there now. I'm not going to be spoiling me tour sale tickets.
So okay, so in all that you mentioned Blackpool several times, particularly with Callum and stuff. What was that? Was that one of the worst ones? Was it? Why was that so bad?
Do you know what? I kind of weirdly I enjoy it only because Blackpool's like. When I was growing up, Blackpool was like the place to be. Like, I don't know if it's the same for, obviously it's not the same for you where you live, but like, that was like the entertainment capital of the Northwest. And like, I remember going there on holidays as a kid and you'd see, I couldn't go in, but like Russ Abbott was playing and stuff like that. I used to love all that. Yeah. And then, so I'm doing the North Pier Theatre, which is iconic. Mm-hmm. So you get there and it's like Charlie Chaplin's played it and just Norman Wisdom and just everyone you could imagine, every iconic name in comedy has walked this stage, and now it's full for me. And I was like, it was a bit of like, it was incredible. Like, it was just a bit of a like, you know, when you're looking at something going, how is this happening? This is a weird moment in your life, but it's also on the end of a pier, and it just hasn't had the love that it needs. So sound system's terrible. A lot of people couldn't hear at the back. And like, it's just the bars aren't really capable. I don't know how these theatres run with like, they're not used to it being full anymore. I don't think they haven't got much on there, and they're not used to the capacity being reached. So like, I think they just struggled to kind of maintain it. They struggled again with security. When I walked on the last show in Blackpool, we did the Thursday and Friday. The Thursday was rowdy but fine. It was all right. And then the Friday, there was a full-scale brawl, 20-man punch-up. And all I'd said was hello. I'd literally gone, hello, welcome to my show. And it just went, fuck off. Started knocking fuck out of it. 3 full-scale brawls kicked off in different sections of the audience throughout the show. And there's only once you can deal with that. Because like once, I'll play with it once and be like, all right, and start commentating and I'll be like, I can't go anywhere, so I might as well watch the fight. But then the second time it happens, you can't do that again. So you've got to kind of like ride it out, and it's just it's awful. It's an awful thing to happen.
So what happened to the guys that were all fighting then? Like
security swarmed on them. There was security there, and they did swarm on them and kind of split it up. I think what had happened was a guy spilled a drink on a girl, and an air fella turned around, and then there was just two big groups, and it just escalated massively right at the start of the show as he was trying to sit down in a hurry to get the start. So yeah. We're doing a different place in Blackpool as well. We are still doing Blackpool, but we're doing the Opera House instead. Which, I mean, I was a little bit sad about, but I mean, apparently it's a lovely place, so I'm looking forward to that.
Fair enough, fair play. So is Blackpool? If somebody says like the worst or weirdest gig, is Blackpool sort of your go-to answer, or is?
No, the worst tour show I've done is Whitehaven. Oh, it depends how you define it. And again, do you know what? I didn't mind Whitehaven, but it was chaos throughout. Like
Right.
Whitehaven, I don't know. Whitehaven is this little town in Cumbria, right? And everybody works at Sellafield. So
Right.
you got the roughest people in the world, but all with quite well-paid jobs. So everyone is just on a load of cocaine. Everyone's here is just on a load of cocaine. And we did the town hall. So I think everyone in Whitehaven was there, right? Gets in there, it's rammed. It's absolutely rammed. It started like 45 minutes late because they just couldn't serve people quick enough. And by the time I got on, everyone's fucking smashed. They've all had loads of lines, and it was just chaos. And the thing, so I'm just putting fires out through the whole show.
Yeah.
And they just wanted to chat. And it was one of them where they just wanted you to chat to them. So I'm chatting away, and like I'm getting a load of shit back, and I'm kind of dealing with it. And it was weird because I was like, where the fuck are you all getting this cocaine from, right? And I don't want to be a grass or nothing, but this woman lives in because they've all got quite high paid jobs. No one's asked about being a drug dealer there, right? So the drug dealer is just this fucking like 82-year-old woman. She's always done it, and no one bothers her. No one's asked. Everyone knows. It's just like, and she was in the gig. She's just waving at me. We're all just doing lines in the audience and shit. And I was like, this is mad, this. And I can't, in a weird, sadistic or masochistic way, sorry, I kind of enjoyed it. Like, I was just, because, you know, if the whole gig's chaos and everyone's chaos, then I don't mind it being chaos, because I'll deal with it. If that's what they want me to do for an hour, I'm quite happy to do that. The worst is when it's like Torquay, when 95% of the audience are lovely, and then you got 5% of them who just are so disruptive and dickheads that it ruins the show. And then you feel you can't deal with both elements. Then you can't just play it how the dickheads want to play it, and you can't play it how the nice people want to play it.
Yeah.
And I don't like it when it's like that, because I feel like I've just disappointed everyone. Then I feel like everyone's gone away not quite getting what they wanted or what they paid for, and there's nothing I could have done. Nothing I could do about it. So yeah, technically Whitehaven, if you were an onlooker, you would say Whitehaven was the worst gig. If you stood at the side of it, you'd go, I wouldn't want to be on that stage. But yeah, like other places like Torquay and Whitley Bay was another one. But Whitley Bay was quite like Torquay. Tends to be these little tends to be anywhere near water. don't put your gig near a mass body of water and you'll be all right.
I can't understand the mentality of somebody wanting to go to an event where you sit down and be quiet and do cocaine. That just it baffles me that someone thinks that's a good idea. But
I'll never understand it. I'll never ever understand it. Like I don't like it anyway. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but like to do it in that situation when it just makes you want to chat is stupid.
Yeah, it's like doing ketamine before a job interview.
It is, yeah.
Right, okay, we're just going to pause here so I can tell you a little bit about our sponsors. Now, I am never going to promote anything that I don't truly believe in, and I really believe in this company. The sponsors of this episode is Bricksome Gin. They're a family-run company based in, you guessed it, Bricksome. They had an absolute laugh one day. They tested 11 different recipes of gin before settling on blend number 9, which is in their flagship bottle, Red Sails. Now, the red sails on the gin and on the logo here, it's inspired by the red ochre-dyed sails of Bricksome's historic fishing boats. So there's a lovely bit of coastal history there. With these guys, exclusivity really is key. You know, they only make extremely small batches, about 50 bottles per batch. So you've got to get in there fast because this is an exquisite gin. From their seaside unit in Bricksome, they do absolutely everything. You know, they prepare the ingredients, they test it, they bottle it, and they label it, and it's all done by hand. You don't get that very much anymore. They don't just do gin, they do hand sanitizers, they've got gift packs, they've got t-shirts. You know, they do absolutely everything. There really is something for everyone. And even better, because you're a listener of this podcast, they're giving you 10% off their gin. All you've got to do is visit bricksomegin.net and enter discount code YPOD. That's WHYPOD, YPOD, at the checkout and get 10% off. Now, back to the episode. All right, so you had loads of rowdiness, obviously shouting out and stuff. And obviously, with what you do at Hot Water and what a lot of people know you for and stuff, you deal with heckles and stuff. really well. What have you had any, like, what's like the weirdest heckle you've had?
Weirdest see, again, the weirdest thing someone said to me, like heckles never really go well for the heckler.
No.
I don't think, like, because I think what people don't understand, and I get this a lot now because people are so aware of me. I'm kind of aware. People have seen so much of me now that they're kind of aware of my pathways now. They're kind of aware of where I'll go as well. So they're like 2 steps ahead of me now. So it takes a little bit of keeping up. It keeps me on my toes a little bit.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's like, have you ever had that argument or you're gonna have an argument with your missus or whatever, and you feel like, so in your head, you're flapping about it all day and you're like, I'm gonna have this argument. And you start imagining the argument and you start imagining what they're going to say and then what you're going to say and then what they're going to say and what you're going to say. And you have this big and you think, I'm fucking ready for this now. And you go in and you start the argument and then she doesn't say what you thought she was going to say and your head fucking falls off because you're like, that's not the script. That's not the script. That's literally what happens to most of them. And you can tell them now because they forced it. They get there early and they sit at the front. And a lot of them are like, you can see them, and you're like, you ask them what they do, and they say something ridiculous, and you're like, I can tell in their eyes, just they're like,
yeah,
this is going to be brilliant. I'm gonna have them off, and it's going to be on a video. And you just keep feeding them. You just stay calm and just keep feeding them, and they fuck it up. Like 3 questions in, they just always fall to bits.
Yeah,
and you're like, you look fucking stupid now, don't you? You look stupid now, and it does the head in. But a couple that the best I've ever had was this guy. And he's sat like this in the front row, which is really confident body language, but it's the tight space as well. So he's like this, and he's just got his arm out, and he's a good-looking guy. He looked a bit like he had the same hair as like Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters, that long, black, wavy, beautiful, like silky hair.
Yeah,
and like this perfect beard, and he was just sat there like that. And I was like, well, you're a confident guy, and he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh God. It's like, you're turning me on a little bit here. And he's like, I said, what's your name? And he went, my name's Dave, and his name is Dave. And I was like, Dave Grohl. He went, yeah. And I went, what do you do, Dave? And he went, well, Paul, as you know, I'm your psychiatrist. Like that. Fuck me. Didn't know what to say to that because he was so confident with what he was saying that I honestly thought I was having a mental breakdown for a second. I was like, am I imagining all this is happening? Like, just for this, I was like, oh, you done me there, you can't do that to someone who smokes as much weed as me because my head will fucking, I'm always 2 steps away from a mental breakdown. Yeah, he killed me off. That was, I think about that at least once a week, just the confidence in him. There's still part of me isn't convinced that maybe he is my psychologist and I'm in some kind of asylum, especially with all this COVID shit. Yeah, that's probably the weirdest heckle I've ever had. But heckles wise, like, yeah, I've had some. I mean, you get some good ones, but people, what the best heckles tend to be people heckling each other.
Yeah,
people doing that shit.
Yeah,
like a guy same in Norwich. We did when we did Norwich again. There was a little bit of a scuffle at the end of the show. And it was the second one that had happened. And as I said before, you can only really do the commentating thing once. And the second one, and I was like, right, honestly, last joke. You know when you do, you do stand up, yeah? I haven't seen you do it, but yeah. So like you're getting into your last bit, and the set's going well, and you're like, I'm flying here. I'm coasting this to the end, and the last laugh's coming. So you're like, and you get that sense of relief, right? And in my last show, I don't know if you saw it, the last bit, I kind of feign having sex, so I've been in a squat. So I was in a squat, right, and I'm like rotating my hips and stuff, and it was always a dead good bit. It was really high energy bit, and people get like good roll and laughter. So I'm like rotating, and next minute the laugh just pulled away, just dissipated, and I was thinking, but I'm looking down. So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Something's happened here. Definitely, but I'm carrying on and I'm like, I can't stop now because if I stop now, I can't get back into this. Like, it's fucking weird if I start here. It looks so unnatural. So I'm carrying on and I carried on and then I was like, something bad's happened there. And I looked up and there was just people fucking punching each other, right? And I was like, for fuck's sake, what's happened here? And I was like, well, I've done my commentating thing. I was like, fucking, that's the last joke and shit like that. And I was like, I'm going to have to wait for this. So security are coming over. I'm like, I'm going to have to wait for this to calm down now. fucking can't believe it like that.
Oh,
And then,
man.
some guy just stood at home and went, will you fucking hurry up and sit down? The car park runs out in 5 minutes. Mate, you saved me there, because I had honestly nothing. Then I had nothing. I was just annoyed at the ruin my last joke. So
See,
yeah.
If that was going the other way and you're having a fight with someone and to your right someone's just gyrating their hips looking at you, that would end most fights.
Yeah. Just start smelling them and that.
Oh, get on. So right. Right, there's a lot to go through here. There really is. And it's the time of the show. At the end of the show, what I always do is I mark you out of 15, and it's on 3 counts.
I mean, if I don't get 15, I'm not coming to the club.
Well, I'm going to give you 15 then, but we don't know.
I'm only joking.
We don't know at this stage whether 15 is good or bad, because this score means nothing at all. So the score is based on cringeworthiness, any mental scars it's given you, and how it's changed you as a person. Right. So I'm going to include the psychologist Heckler, because he doesn't sound like I don't know. He sound. I think it might have been a part of your imagination. You know, you ever had a dream that's so real? I think. Well, I don't know, man, because that is so confident. So I'm going to include him. We've got the Blackpool brawl. We've got the cocaine gig, or the cocaine granny gig, and then the psychologist Heckler. So for cringeworthiness. For the it's really hard to do this one. There's so much to cover. I'm gonna cringe. You're definitely getting 5 out of 5, and I'm putting a lot of that on the psychologist Heckler. So that's good. Mental scars. You said you think about that one at least once a week as well, so that's had some impact on you as well.
In my head. His voice. He had the silky voice.
So that's well high as well. That's a 4 out of 5. And how it's changed you as a person. Do you are you going to do a bit that's as labor intensive as gyrating your hip at the end of a gig again?
I always tend to have something like that in the show. I don't know why I do it, but yeah.
It's going to stay in. Right, well, it's not changing.
I make the same mistakes every year. I'm an idiot and I don't learn.
So you're thick-skinned, so we'll give you that. So that's a combined score then. That's 1 out of 5. That's a combined score of 10 out of 15.
That'll do me.
How do you feel about that?
That's respectable. That's respectable.
You're happy with it?
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
I think I'm going to get a couple of like badges made up, like the Blue Peter badges.
Oh, well, yeah.
Back in the day. So
next time I'm down, I'll come and see it. I can wear my badge.
Yeah, with pride. But but thanks so much for coming on and doing it, mate. It's been really great chatting to you.
No worries, Ben. Thank you, mate.
Nice one. Cheers.